Here is how I wrote a best-selling book and what it taught me about resilience and success. So my new book, AI Resilient: How Freelancers and Entrepreneurs Can Thrive, Charge More, and Stay Irreplaceable in the Age of AI, just came out a week and a half ago officially on Amazon, and it topped 5 different Amazon charts, if you can believe that, on Amazon.com. So it was number one in marketing, number one in small business, number one in self-employment, and in 2 other categories as well. In fact, one friend of mine actually emailed me and they said, "Hey, Joe, you're actually ahead of Seth Godin up on the charts on Amazon in marketing. Like, that's incredible." And honestly, I'm still processing that. But today I want to share exactly how I did it and how you can write a best-selling book too, because it's an incredible way to build your business. So first of all, why would you write a best-selling book? It takes a lot of time to write a book, right? All depending on how long it is. If it's a 2-page book, which you can technically do on Amazon, then it may not take a lot of time. But if you want to build credibility and sort of show that you're a serious, accomplished professional, that you know what you're talking about, you probably want it a little bit longer. Mine came out to about 30,000 words. So that's like 165 pages. So it does take a lot of time, but it was worth it for me in the end. So, you're writing it because you're building tremendous credibility, regardless of what service you offer. You're also going to be able to use it to accomplish a goal to grow your business, right? So most people who publish a book do not have a specific goal. They just have a message they want to share with the world, and that is totally fine. But you could also use a book as a bestseller to grow your business strategically, and that is the way that I did it. So what was tricky for me, I actually had a book writing coach who helped me out, but it took me a long time to figure out, what am I doing with this book? What's the goal? But once I had it figured out, all the decisions became easier. And so what I decided to optimize for is, number one, helping people. That's always going to be number one for me. That's why I do everything that I do. And number two, I did want to make bestseller status in some way. Because if you really want that credibility, there's nothing like being a best-selling author, right? So I'm happy to say it's mission accomplished. Now, I did not make any money with this book. This was an investment for me, but it was worth it because it accomplished those goals. And I've now put my book in my email signature. I did a whole bunch of posts on it. And I literally have like thousands of people that have grabbed the book, and a lot of them have read it and left reviews, which is amazing. One thing that I've noticed since I've published my book is that people talk to me differently. People speak to a best-selling author differently. They expect you to charge more. They expect to pay a premium to get to work with you. And also for consulting projects, when people write to me, they're like, "Oh, you're the best-selling author everyone's talking about. We've heard about your book." Or even in some cases, they've said, "We've started doing meetings to talk about your book," which is incredible, right? So it's really, really rewarding in that sense, and it changes perceptions. People know that it's hard to write a best-selling book, that, that there is something behind that, right? You have to have some knowledge, and you have to be able to convey your ideas clearly and to provide genuine value to make that status, typically. So if for no other reason, it was worth publishing my book just because it generates a lot of buzz, a lot of people reaching out to me, and people talking to me differently as well, and just expecting to pay more. So it's a great long-term investment, I think, for anyone who is a coach, entrepreneur, knowledge worker, et cetera, et cetera. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how I created this best-selling book and got to the number one of multiple categories. So first of all, when I wrote the book, my mindset was what I'm now calling the one-person rule. In other words, my thinking was, when I'm writing this book, I want to help one person. If one person reads this book and it helps them, it genuinely makes a difference for them in their business. It helps them to feel more confident in the age of AI in terms of presenting their value to clients. If I can accomplish that for one person, then it's worth all of the hard work that I'm putting into it. So even though money may be a great motivator, for me, the vital energy that kept me going and writing every morning for several weeks to get this book done, it was really about that mentality of helping others. And for me, that's a very, very deep drive. It's like my number one. I want to help people. I believe I'm in this world to help others. And so I really put a lot of heart into the book, and I put that vital good energy into it every day when I came to it. So it's really a heart process for me. It was about writing from the heart, and it wasn't a lot of fluff. It's a book that's really straightforward, and that came through in the reviews. A lot of people were like, "Wow, we're shocked that we went through this book, got a ton of values. We'll have to read it again a couple times just to assimilate everything that's in there." But it's like, there's no fluff in this book. It's not just a bunch of fictitious case studies. It's actual, real, hard-hitting things you can start saying to clients, things you can do on discovery calls to land more opportunities, to make more money in the age of AI. So for me, I did not write this book with AI in any way. I wrote the book from the heart. I got up early in the morning, had coffee, and sat down and wrote, and I wrote from the heart. And I really believe that's the reason it has been so successful. It's exceeded all my expectations. The only time that I used AI was, in fact, in the book description, because you need to use Amazon keywords in a strategic way, and it's actually a very technical thing. So I used AI for that one part to help to work in the keywords, and then I revised that extensively and had edited as well. But the actual book itself was written from my heart and not by AI. And I really believe in that. Even if there are a ton of apps today that can write books, I personally believe that because I wrote from the heart, people felt it. And that's really the feedback I've gotten from so many people that have now read my book already, just like a week and a half later. The second thing I want to mention is I really did not subscribe to the prevailing conventional wisdom, which is that you should hold back some information and then only give that information away in an online course. Or hold back, don't give everything away. Instead, only reveal certain things when people sign up for coaching with you. I do not subscribe to that way of thinking at all. I really truly believe that when you give value first, you'll feel it, and people will come to you afterwards for coaching. And that has always been my experience. I've always been very generous with my knowledge, and I've produced content and given away a ton of tips. But then when I make a paid offer, I tend to get lots and lots and lots of sales because people think, if I got all this value for free, imagine what I'm going to get if I actually pay for the services or the coaching or the online course with Joe. And so I really give away a ton of information. One tip I gave away in the book is that you can create your own guarantee for your services. I paid thousands of dollars from high-level coaches to learn this, but it's one thing that has really multiplied my business, which is to have a custom guarantee. So as a professional translator in my other career, I now tell my clients, if there are any tweaks that need to be made to the language, then I offer those free of charge. I only charge if there are changes in the text or if new text, et cetera, et cetera. But essentially, I have this custom guarantee, which is if any language tweaks need to be made, they're on me, no problem. And that is so reassuring for clients. And a lot of clients have hired me because of that, offer a guarantee of that kind. So this is the kind of thing that I talk about in the book, and I really explain step by step how to do it. If you want to check it out, it's called AI Resilience. It's available on Amazon.com, and there are a ton of really great tips like that. I paid thousands of dollars to learn these from top coaches. They've helped me to greatly improve and grow my business. And I'm very generous in the book about giving away lots of great tips. I know from experience, when people do coaching with me, when people do my courses, I always have new material and things that I want to teach, and I can help people anyway in person in a very different way than in a book. So I did not subscribe to the idea of holding back. I gave tons of value in the book, and the feedback has been amazing. And again, I think if it's reached the top of multiple categories on Amazon, it's because it really provides genuine, honest value. Now, the third tip is that unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the publishing world is pay to play. So even if you are self-publishing, if you want your book to get a ton of traction like mine did and get to, thousands of people downloading it, then you really need to be willing to invest in the process, right? If you do everything yourself, fine, you can do everything yourself. Amazon even has like a free cover designer inside of KDP. But you know what? I hired a professional book editor. I hired 2 different book formatters to make the book really look right and get everything inside the book to be in tip-top shape. I hired a professional cover designer for many, many different iterations of the cover for different versions of the book. I have Kindle, I have paperback, and I'm currently working on getting a hardback out there as well. So I've needed a cover designer, and it's actually a fairly complex process to have a cover designed by a professional because you need to know what you are accomplishing and who you're trying to reach and why. So your deeper strategy will inform your work with them, but it's been a back and forth process with all these people for lots and lots of little details. So there's the editor, book formatters, the cover designer. I also had my writing coach, Michelle Culp, who helped me with various aspects of publishing on Amazon and achieving bestseller status and promoting the book in various ways. I also have my business strategist, who's my coach for my global business strategy, because the book should fall under your more global strategy. And it's very important to reverse engineer what you're trying to accomplish with the book. And finally, I hired multiple book promoters to promote the book. So these are a lot of people that I invested in, but I believe that it shows in the book, right? It's a very professional looking book. I have a copy here to show you. It is a premium book. It feels premium, and I love the work that was done in it. And I don't think that I could have ever achieved this if I had tried to do everything myself. In fact, I tried formatting it at first, and it was an absolute disaster on wheels trying to format the book. I ended up hiring someone who did a much better job, and then I needed another person to finalize some of the details. So, again, you can do everything yourself. You can go low cost, you can go free if you want, but if you want to get a great result, I think it's important to be willing to invest. That's also very consistent with the theme of the book, right? Part of what I say in AI Resilient is that we should be hiring humans. If I'm a professional translator or a professional coach, I want people to hire me and not just go to ChatGPT, right? Because what I can give that AI cannot give is an outcome. And that's a proven outcome because I've achieved that outcome for other people before. Like if someone invests in business coaching with me, I can greatly grow their business because I've done that with multiple people before in all kinds of situations. I now have the experience, the know-how, the expertise, and, a proven methodology. Whereas ChatGPT can give you lots of like maybe true, maybe helpful advice, but it's not quite the same thing as the value that you get from a human who has gone through the paces. All right, so I've given 3 tips, and I want to also add in here, there are some things I did not expect that I learned from the experience of publishing this book. So one of them is that when I started teasing the book and mentioning it in different places on LinkedIn, in my case, and via my newsletter, a lot of people actually wrote to me. They gave me ideas for my book. They gave me feedback on my book. They said, "Hey, I've heard you're writing a book on this topic. Would you like to come speak at our event?" So all of these things actually informed the book. I was able to work in some of the wonderful ideas that I got just from people's preliminary feedback and the thoughts they had. All the feedback I got was helpful and gave me ideas to wrap up the book and to include elements that would reach more people in a more profound way. So instead of making it like I have this date when I'm publishing the book and I'm working on it behind the scenes and suddenly, boom, it's available. In my case, it's more like I teased it and then I started working in some of the feedback. And it was really an iterative process and a collective process in a way. And that also led to a lot of sales because the people that engaged with me regarding my book under development, a lot of them became buyers the minute it became available. So that is a really great thing. You can use the feedback as you create the book. And this is a very positive way to build traction too. I would say as well, if you want to get a ton of traction for your book, don't neglect small opportunities. Like the BBC actually reached out to me the day after I hit publish on Kindle and said, "Hey, we'd love to have you come on the BBC to talk about the future of translation and the knowledge professions in the age of AI." And to be able to speak on their channel live on the radio for like the whole of UK, right? I had to be up at 3 a.m. here close to Montreal. So that was a little bit wild getting up at like 2 in the morning to be ready for that radio interview. But you know what? I then republished the interview in a few different places and it got close to 1,000 clicks. So a lot of people listened to it, reached out. A lot of people went and bought the book. So I was willing to do what few people would be willing to do, like getting up at 2 in the morning to do a 10-minute radio interview. But those are the little things that will get you more traction for your book. So yes, it's real work. I could have turned down multiple opportunities while I was writing the book and immediately after publishing, but I didn't because those were ways to get micro engagement. And that micro engagement turned into people buying my book, people sharing my book, people posting about my book, and lots of sales. And that helped me to get to number 1. All right, so I've talked a little bit about how I got this book to bestseller status. I'd love to know who is next. Who is listening to this video and is thinking, "Hey, you know what? If Joe did it, maybe I can do it too." Please drop a comment below if you're working on a book or just if you have an idea for a book. Even though YouTube can seem like a one-way thing, I read my comments and I respond to them. This is a small channel and I'm only gradually building it up. So I'd love to cheer you on. And before I forget, go and grab the book. AI Resilient is up for $4.97 on Amazon.com. It will teach you exactly how to land premium clients and use lots of great marketing and sales strategies, regardless of what kind of a business you have. I'm super proud of it. And, the whole premise of the book is that people don't just buy from experts. They buy from people that they have a connection with, people that they trust. And so the book is about how to build that trust with people. And it's very consistent with my message here on YouTube. So there you have it, folks. Go grab the book, leave me a comment, and I wish you a fabulous day.